Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jaden Jiggets.
And I'm Kayla Moore, and welcome back to The Bigger Picture.
Yup, like my co-host just said, this is the 6th season for The Bigger Picture, which is honestly incredible. And for those who's watching at home, is unfamiliar with the show, we spread awareness to the multicultural organizations and businesses that are presented here on campus.
That includes program events and anything else pertaining these orgs and businesses.
Well, with all that said, Kayla, how was your summer? Did you do anything fun?
My summer, honestly, was really good. Like, this is probably one of the best summers I've had in a while. You know, when we got back from school, I went to Trinidad with my family for 2 weeks. That was really good. I had a lot of fun. After that, I started working at a summer camp with kids. That was my first time working with kids. So I had a lot of fun. It was definitely a job. And, maybe I'll work with kids in the future again. Maybe I won't, but whatever God has in store for me. What about you, Jaden?
Word. So my summer was honestly pretty good. Mostly I just chilled at home, hung out with friends, spent quality time with missus, all that stuff, spent time with family. One big thing that I did this summer was that I actually made a trip down to Georgia to get three of my cousins and take them back to the city with me. So that was like...
How was that? Was that like their first time in the city, or?
It was their first time in the city
Wow.
in like a long, long time. And for me, that was 4 plane rides I had to take, which my ears was done but hey, I had to do it.
Okay.
But, well, believe it or not, we are actually in the middle of our semester right now. We're in week 6 of the semester. See how it's season 6 of The Big Picture, and we're in week 6? That's
You see
crazy.
how we did? You see what we did there?
Yeah, but how's your semester been so far, Kayla?
Honestly, the semester has been semestering. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, the workload, I don't know. This is feeling very much like a sophomore year. They're really putting the pressure on me, but I got it. I'll get it back together soon. What about you, Jaden?
Nah, I get that. The semester is definitely life, and for real, semester is semestering. Semester is definitely rough for these past couple of weeks, and it's like I'm in my senior year, my last year, so it's just like it's definitely been rough. But at the end of the day, we just gotta sit there and get through it. And the fact that we're already in season 6, well, not season 6, episode 6. Oh God,
Got you tongue-tied there. Semester's doing
yeah.
it to
See,
you.
this semester's been crazy to me, but since we're already in week 6, it's like, yo,
We got it.
We got it.
this.
Honestly, at the end of the day, we got it. We're doing good. But with us being in the middle of the semester now, we have quite a few programs and events coming up in the following weeks. Tomorrow, October 4th at 5 p.m., Bold Black Beauties will be hosting their program, Autumn's Glow, where they will be discussing different self-care regimens.
Then on Monday, October 7th, the Latino Student Union, Laker Poet Society, and the Digital Music Association will all be collaborating for an open mic night in the space at 6:30 p.m. for anyone who would like to show off their singing or their poetry skills.
In addition to this, the Asian Student Association will be collaborating with Student Association for an anime trivia night in Hart Hall Classroom at 7 p.m. There will be prizes to win and snacks too, so make sure you attend both of these events.
2.5 will also be having their annual Walk of Shame this Tuesday, October 8th. This event will have students march from MCC to Oneida Hall to raise awareness for victims who've experienced sexual assault on campus. Poster making for the walk will be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. in MCC 142. The walk will start immediately after the poster making.
On Wednesday, there will be another collab program, this time with Women's Center and the Latino Student Union for their program, Empowering Latina Health. Program will take place at MCC 223 at 8 p.m.
Speaking of the Women's Center, they will also be having their annual Take Back the Night event coming up Thursday, October 17th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in MCC's food court. This event also takes a stand against sexual assault, so make sure you come out and support.
We also got some exciting news for the month of November. Make sure to mark your calendars as the Latino Student Union will be hosting their 47th annual dinner on Saturday, November 9th in the Sheldon Ballroom. Stay tuned on their Insta page for more updates throughout the month. Coming up after the break, we will be back with our first guest of season 6.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the bigger picture.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West First Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see?
All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free.
Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Welcome back to The Bigger Picture. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, here's our guest, Lisa Martinez, the CEO of Lisa's Kitchen, also known as Lisa Homestyle on Instagram.
Hi guys.
So Lisa, tell us a little bit about yourself, major, how's your semester been going so far, you know, things like that.
Okay, well, yes, to reintroduce myself, I'm Lisa Martinez. I am the CEO of Lisa's Kitchen. I am a junior now, first semester junior, and my semester so far has been so busy, but I always keep saying like it's a good kind of busy. I'm an RA now.
Wow.
I just joined 2 committees, Golden Z and FAO. I'm here. I'm still cooking. So it's been great, and also I'm a childhood education major with a concentration in English. So. Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so Lisa, first question. What was the idea behind Lisa's Kitchens?
So it started literally my first semester, first year here. I was just cooking. My jar was so excited to get my fridge. And once I got it, I started stocking up on groceries and stuff like that. So it started from me just cooking for my friends. And when I got such like good feedback, I realized, okay, Lisa, you're cooking for everybody. You're not getting much out of it, but like compliments and good feedback, so why not make it into something? And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Whatever it is that I wanted to do, I wanted to be the boss of it. So that's when I started cooking. And at first it was word to mouth, and then I realized that it would be a good idea to have an Instagram page, and so I think that's when a lot of people started to actually see my cooking, and it just continued from there based off of feedback. I was able to like present my food better, showcase it better on social media, and even just like walking down the hallways like, oh, what you cooking today? Or what you cooking this weekend? Gives me like a good feeling about that, so yeah.
I love that.
I like
I
that
love
for you.
that.
Thank you.
So being that you have a business, how are you managing classes and handling your business on the weekends?
Okay, so
Even throughout the week as well.
yeah, so I try my very best to put myself on some type of schedule, at least when it comes to my cooking. Because I know when school starts, everything gets so busy, and I feel like those things can fluctuate. But when it comes to my passion, I make sure that I put myself on a good regimen. So I try to post my menu at least between like Wednesday and Friday. And then I know Sunday is like my busiest day because I'm cooking. So I dedicate that full day to Lisa's Kitchen. I make sure I don't put anything else for that day. So homework and anything that needs to be done before Sunday.
Okay. And do you squeeze in some self-care in there as well?
I do. My schedule is pretty good as far as like academics. So I don't have class on Fridays, so that's usually like my time to like reset, get work done, and things of that nature. And then anytime like throughout the week, I don't even take naps anymore. It's just like that's my time to get other things done. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, word. Have you catered for any events on campus or outside of campus?
I have done one event for AA Men. It was really nice. It was a good weather too, so, and I think that also allowed me to gain like new customers. I think even you really, which is funny. So yeah.
Food is amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Heavy on the amazing.
Thank you very much. I also did, speaking of my summer, I did an event over the summer, and it was kind of like a supporting small businesses event for the kinfolk. So that was a really good event, and that gave me an opportunity to kind of like allow people to know my business who maybe don't go to my school, and also students who do go to my school. So that was really great. I hope to do more of that, like maybe when I graduate or over the summer, and when I get chances to expand outside of Oswego.
Okay. So where did your passion for cooking come from?
I would say a little bit of here, but definitely like the root of it back home. I always cook with my mom. She would always like either have me prep the food, or sometimes like I would volunteer to like cook dinner that night. So yeah, she's always on the phone with me every Sunday, like, okay, what you cooking? Do you have everything? So she's like really like the background, the backbone, if you will, of this whole thing. Wow. So shout out to you, Mommy.
Word. I like that. I like that. So I'm assuming your mom is also the one that taught you how to cook.
Yes, for sure. For sure. A lot of my recipes, I would say, are inspired by her. Of course, when it comes to cooking, like everybody has their own art and their own way of doing things, but I would say she definitely had a big influence on my flavors and just the way that I cook in general.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So do you, like, I know you mentioned earlier that you're a child education major. Mm-hmm. So, like, do you see yourself in the future becoming a chef, or do you, like, or are you going to nail? Okay.
Yes, I do. It's funny that you say that, because I did come into Oswego as a business administration major. I kind of just wanted to understand the roots of owning a business, and just like understanding that portion of it, just like that entrepreneurship mindset, which I felt like I already had, and that's kind of why I didn't really feel myself improving. So when it came to my sophomore year, I decided to get into the process of changing my major, because I've always been good with kids, and I wanted to have my own daycare. And so I felt like just understanding like the way kids work, and learning that part of it, something that I could actually grow from. And right now, I love my classes. I feel myself becoming a better teacher, a better educator, and just like understanding the education system and how they need, I feel like, more people who actually care about these kids. And then, yeah, after I graduate, I would love to go to culinary school. I do want to be a chef, so I really just want to be able to pour myself into both of those passions and not just limit myself to what I'm studying or what I'm doing on the side.
Nah, that's what's up.
That's really good. A lot of people don't be able to connect with like something they have outside of like class and you know, education and academia in general, and then academia itself. Like people don't really have passions, and like, you know, it's really good to see other people with passions and know that they have something that they want to connect to outside of, you know, class. So that's really good.
Thank you.
So what are 5 words you would use to describe yourself and your business?
Okay, so myself, careless a bit sometimes. I feel like I care a lot about other people, and I like to sometimes put a lot of people's happiness as my priority, in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Second, I would say I'm kind of funny. It depends on who I'm around. Third, Girly. I feel like I'm very like, I just love everything that has to do with girls, like makeup, fashion, anything of that nature. As far as my business, homey. I love making people feel like they're at home. Their plate is from like something that they would get at home from their mom, grandma, whatever the case may
I
be.
definitely be feeling
From
Yes.
your food,
from
like,
your food.
yes.
I definitely be feeling that way.
I feel like
you.
I'm home.
Yo,
And I would say generous too. I make sure that I'm very heavy-handed
Yes.
all the time. So, yes, if you ever order from me, know that you're gonna get your money's worth.
I
Alright.
agree.
I definitely agree
Yes.
100%.
Yep.
Well, we're going to wrap this part up. We will be back very soon after the break, so stay tuned and welcome back to The Bigger Picture.
Yep.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
All right, and we are back with The Bigger Picture. Now, Lisa, we do have a few more questions we want to ask you.
Okay.
So what does a typical weekend look like when you're getting ready to serve your customers? Like, what does that Sunday look like?
Okay. So Sunday, I'm waking up in the morning. Usually on Saturday, if I'm making like any type of meats, I'll have it like marinated overnight. But Sunday, yeah, I wake up early in the morning. I get myself together. I like to clean because sometimes when I do have people come and pick up the food, I want my room to look presentable.
That's real.
Yeah, I walk Paris. I have a dog, Paris. So he goes outside for a little bit. And then, yeah, I come back and I get straight to work. I lay out like all of my ingredients, groceries, seasonings, whatever it is that I need. I play my music. Usually, no one uses the kitchen, so I usually have like that space all to myself. And yeah, once I finish cooking, I'll send out those messages like your food is ready, and I'll wait for people to come, or I'll just give it to them in like a local area, whatever works for that person.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. What was the most amount of customers that you had on a Sunday?
On one Sunday, I've had max 13 customers.
Max 13
Yeah,
customers.
on average, maybe like 7. But there was this one time, it's usually when I make mac and cheese. I feel like when people see that on the menu, they're most likely gonna order. Another time when I made lobster mac and cheese also, that was when we got a lot of customers as well. And that was like a special thing, so that was nice.
Mac and cheese is official, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm making it this Sunday too, and it's posted.
Oh,
so
really?
I want to see those orders.
Yes, menu
Yes.
is up. Go tap in.
Y'all heard to tap in with her, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's mac and cheese. So, okay, so another question, and this is just out of curiosity. What is your favorite dish to make?
My favorite dish to make, I love chicken. but I love playing around with it. So one of my top favorites would have to be Tuscan chicken. I've made it for some people before, and I feel like, again, like it's something that people usually wouldn't want to try because it just sounds weird. And me personally, I don't even like spinach or tomatoes, but I feel like the flavors together are just like perfect. Another type is like stuffed chicken. And so that's kind of like a cream cheese mixture with spinach and peppers, onions. That's really good too. And I feel like I like making like a lot of things that people aren't usually willing to try, but when they do try it, they love it.
I can definitely say from personal experience that I had stuffed chicken before. And, you know, when I was first told about it, I thought like, stuffed chicken, what is that? I don't know if I would want that, but when I tried it, I was like, wait a minute. This is good. I remember my grandmother, she made one Thanksgiving, she made she had like a stuffed roasted chicken and she put some stuffing inside of it. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, that's a little overdoing it. But when I had it, I was like, okay,
you get
this
it
is
now.
good,
Yeah.
this is good, this is good, you know what I'm saying?
I might have to leave the stuffed chicken to y'all. I don't think I could get busy with that.
Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it, but like, it's.
I'll make it for you one day, and maybe we'll see if your mind changes.
Okay.
It's definitely something that you should try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you could get me to change my mind, but for now, I'm gonna give the stuffed chicken to y'all.
Okay.
Nah, it's definitely something you should try though.
Yeah.
But what would you say some of your strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to like your business and when it comes to you like getting everything together?
Strengths, understanding. I feel like everyone maybe have like different taste buds or different preferences. I know I even do. So I try my best to make sure that when you get your plate, whatever's on the menu, that is something that you will like to enjoy, however you like it. So I'll definitely communicate any type of preferences as far as like what I'm gonna be selling that week. Weaknesses, maybe I would say I could have some better time management, but I try my best not to let you guys see that. But yeah, I feel like for the most part, everyone usually has like good experiences, and I make sure that those people come back. So yeah.
Okay.
That's what's up, that's what's up. What was your favorite meal as a child?
My favorite meal as a child? I was very picky when I was a child.
Hey,
So
same here.
I feel like it might have been like a standard spaghetti, but I don't eat everybody else's spaghetti. It's just my mom's spaghetti. That's it.
That's really real.
That's real. No,
That
that's
is
so
really
real.
real.
Like, it's certain things you just cannot eat from everybody else. Like, either my
Yeah.
grandma or my mom. When it comes to certain things, like, I'm sorry, just don't serve that to me unless my mom made it. Like,
Yeah, I don't want it.
When it comes, I remember growing up in my house, like my mom and my aunt, they both had a different way of making spaghetti. And I don't know why, it's gonna be crazy, but I always preferred my aunt's spaghetti over my mom's spaghetti. Like my aunt, she just knew how to throw down when it came to spaghetti more than my mom. But it's like, really, when it comes to certain foods, you cannot sit there and just eat from anybody. It's like certain things, it's just like, it gotta be made from a certain person.
And sometimes it's like simple dishes too. Like I feel like spaghetti is something that you would think that's like 1, 2, 3, but not everybody can like
not
perfect it the way that you might like it. So.
Jaden, apologize to your mom before she sees this because you said your aunt's spaghetti was better than hers.
Hey, I told her before. I told her years before that my aunt makes better spaghetti than hers. So if she's watching this, Mom, this is just me being honest. Like, this is just me being honest. Okay, this is just me being honest.
It's okay.
So, what's your favorite meal now, like as an adult?
I love me some candy yams.
And not just on Thanksgiving.
Not just on Thanksgiving.
Candy yams?
Trust. If you put candy
Not
yams,
just on
if you make me some
Thanksgiving.
candy yams, I could just eat it just like that. But definitely with the candy yams and mac and cheese combo.
Yes, people are asleep on that. People
They
always
are.
saying, don't mix up your food on
And
Thanksgiving.
what's
No.
crazy, I don't even like my food mix, but
combo.
sometimes I'll mix it a little bit because that is, I don't know, it's something about those flavors that just go so well together. Yeah, that's my thing right now.
And least favorite? Real quick.
Least favorite, I'm not that big on vegetables.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like for the most part, I've gotten a lot less picky over the years. So I'll try most things, but when it comes to vegetables, I don't know. It just don't sit right with me too well.
All right then. So on to our last two questions. What do you hope to achieve for yourself in the upcoming years?
Again, I hope to be happy. I hope to be a boss in whatever it is that I do. I hope to continue in this path of like being motivated to continue pushing towards my passions, and prioritizing that over like me just being so busy all the time. Like I said before, like this is a good type of busy. And I feel like I'm doing everything that I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I just hope to just continue being happy with following my passions, because it took me a long journey to actually realize that there is money and there is business into something that you actually love to do.
Exactly.
I also want to point out, I see you got the merch on Lisa's
Oh,
Kitchen.
I always have on merch, yes.
You plan on coming out with new merch?
I do. I hope so. Right now, I do just love to showcase it, like just for myself. But I would love to honestly like sell T-shirts, maybe like sweatshirts and things of that nature. All types of colors.
If you do, I will buy, definitely.
Thank you.
What's like the manufacturing process when it comes to like making your stuff, like making your shirts?
That my mom is more in charge of that. Like I'll tell her my vision, and she also helped me come up with this logo. So anything like that, like my mom is the perfect person for it. Like she just has like all the best ideas as far as like promotion, marketing, anything of that nature, anything for me to get my business out there.
Okay. And I was gonna ask you that too, like why is like your brand Lisa's Kitchen, but the Instagram is Lisa's Home Style?
Honestly, so many people ask me that, and honestly, it was just that somebody already took Lisa's Kitchen. So I put it home style as far as like home style food, making you feel at home.
Well, we'll see. Like we said earlier, it definitely does make you feel like you're at home.
Thank you.
You
Yes.
know what I mean?
So I wanted to like incorporate that and make that be known. But Lisa's Kitchen, this is my thing. So. That's the title.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, so last question. Do you see yourself opening up a restaurant in the future?
Yes, but more specifically, I would just love to have like me a little food truck. Not little food truck, but a nice food truck. I want to be able to travel with the things that I do. I don't want to really be confined into one place.
Yeah.
So I think a food truck is great for me to generate. And also I also heard this advice from someone when I was like working at a different job, and he was always saying like it's better to have like one small thing and you see like a line coming out of your restaurant, you see a line in front of your food truck versus having a huge restaurant and no one really in there, if that makes sense. So I feel like that would add to the attraction, and also being satisfied when you get there as well.
Yeah.
Nah, that is true. That is true. So let me just do a quick question to that last question. What is some menu options would you have a part of that little food that little food place?
So my cuisine is more like Latin soul. I don't think I mentioned that yet. I am Guatemalan. So a lot of my food ties into that, whether that be like Spanish rice, tostones, maduros, anything like that, empanadas. I would love to incorporate that side of my culture. But then we also got that soul food, mac and cheese, yams, fried chicken, even a little bit everything else, jerk, curry, all types of things. Anything that I really love to make and I know that people love, that's what I want to put on there.
That's really good.
Oh, and the cornbread. I didn't mention that too.
Can't forget about the cornbread. I mean, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and now we talking about all this food. Thanksgiving is just around the corner.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I cannot wait.
But all right, this was a really good interview. Lisa, do you have anything else you'd like to say to the audience before we wrap up?
I would just say thank you for watching, and you guys, thank you for having me.
Of course.
I had a great time. And yes, tune into my Instagram, lisa.homestyle, and also tune in this Sunday. We have a great menu that y'all should go look at.
Y'all heard her. Go tune into the menu. Go on Instagram, get you a plate. You're going to be hungry this Sunday. You're not going to eat what's in the diner hall. Come on. But
For sure.
thank you
And
so
you're gonna
much
love it.
for watching.
Thank
Have
you,
a good one,
everyone.
y'all.
See y'all in 2 weeks for the next episode.
at the top of the circle, and a shot! AJ Ryan starts it down the road!
The wheel stuck Sally! The goal for the Lakers!
In the corner, but it's deflected off of Grimshaw, up to Simons. Simons looking back over Severin,
And you can hear this place to the south end of Alabama, Kyle, the Davis Rockets!
Awful quiet in here.
It is a little bit quiet.
A little strangely quiet.
Strangely quiet. You look great tonight.
You look great tonight. You look very
look tropical.
festive. Tropical.
Yeah, a little tropical. Kenny.
Look like it's almost summer.
It almost is. We're almost there. But Kenny, I got one thing to ask you before we get into everything here.
Yeah.
How we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Kyle, but there's one thing that's on my mind that's making me a little sad. And this is the last ever Kenny and Kyle experience on any microphone anywhere in TOP, Kyle. This is it. The last one.
It's been a long run, man. I mean,
it has been.
A whole year.
We got plenty of time to get sad. Why don't we just get into it?
I was going to say, let's just get into the sports before we get all to the sad stuff. So let's jump right into the world of the NHL. The playoffs have been off to a red-hot start, with some teams pulling ahead of the competition right out of the gate. And one of those teams would be, well, unfortunately, Kenny's New York Rangers. The Rangers have a 3-0 lead over the Caps right now, going for the sweep and lead 2-1 in the game at the moment. Kenny, what have you seen out of the Rangers lately that have allowed them to be so dominant in this series?
I've seen the Rangers playing hockey.
Oh
I mean,
God,
everybody showed up
that
this
is such
playoff
a
series.
biased answer.
Panarin playing, Fox playing. Everybody's there and they're playing, and it's simple. It's really as simple as the difference last year was people just didn't show up when it came playoff time, and this year everybody showed up playoff time. Now you said earlier on, and I didn't forget, that the Rangers were first round exits. I don't see a reverse sweep. The Rangers are up 2-1 going into the second period right now. I hate to tell you this, Kyle. Actually, I'd love to tell you this. You're wrong.
I hate you.
I know you do, but I'm right.
I mean, realistically, I got to give it to the Rangers. They're up 3-0. There's nothing I can say against them. I think really the big part that's helped them is, as much as I hate to say it, Matt Rempe. Because the reason that the Capitals were always so good in the playoffs and were able to do what they want was because they had Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson was a skilled player who was also, a Martian. Everybody hates him. He would go out and just hit people all over the ice, destroying them and getting in people's head. Now the Rangers have their own guy that's like 6'6" doing that, so it helps a little bit. But it's not the only game going on around the NHL, because history may be repeating itself, because we move up the coast to another original six team. The Boston Bruins have run up a 3-1 series lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Kenny, this is a tale as old as time. The Bruins and Toronto met in round one many, many times, but in 2013, it was the Leafs up 3-1. Now, Boston holds the 3-1 lead. We've seen between these teams that choking a 3-1 lead is never out of the picture. So how do you see this one going down? Are the Bees taking it, or does Toronto have a chance?
Man, I hope they both lose. But, I mean, since they both can't lose, I think the Bruins are going to finish it out. They've always been the team to lose in the first round. They're just not a good playoff team. They haven't been for a long time. I don't see them getting in 3 straight wins against the Boston Bruins. I think they might be able to take 1, maybe 2, and bring it to a Game 7 at best. But I don't see a world where Toronto is getting out of this round. I think Boston is definitely moving on.
And this is coming from Austin Matthews off of a historic season, almost scored 70 goals in the regular season, 69 goals throughout the regular season. How does a guy go from being so hot the entire 82-game season, almost scoring a goal per game, and then just nothing?
I know the reason, because they're playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs, Kyle.
Haven't won since '67, and it's going to stay the same. No titles ever go to Toronto. Sorry, Seth, but baseball, hockey, doesn't matter. Toronto doesn't get titles at all. But now to a series that's a bit of a closer matchup. The Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators are currently playing as we speak in a 2-1 series led by the Canucks. Thatcher Demko did go out with an injury this season and is currently listed as week to week. He's been a crucial part of the Canucks' success all season long. So how could this impact the swing of the series, Kenny?
I mean, he's critical, and it's kind of hard now to see them come up and try to pull off a victory in the playoffs without he's your anchor, really. So I don't know. This one, even with or without, could have gone either way. Me personally, I kind of want to see the Predators take this one. I would like to see the Nucks fall. So I'm pulling for the Preds, man. I'm going for Nashville here.
I'm all in on the Orcas, man. I gotta go with the Orcas, solely because I want 2013 again.
Yeah.
I want 2013 again. Fair. Boston, the Canucks lose. riot ensues in Vancouver. They flipping cars, everything. I mean, that was one of the funniest moments in hockey, in my personal opinion, just seeing an entire city collapse because of their hockey team choking a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't hate the Canucks. I kind of like what they got going there. Quinn Hughes has done a great job with the team, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
I guess we will.
But the reigning champs in the Vegas Golden Knights also have a 2-1 lead over the Dallas Stars in a tight series that went into overtime last night before Vegas took it 3-2. There's been controversy with Vegas and how they slotted captain Mark Stone on the IR for the later half of the season to make moves at the trade deadline to secure talent before roster expansion of the playoffs. Stone returned just in time for the playoffs, and some NHL fans were not happy. Kenny, do you think that teams should be allowed to put players on the IR and then bring them back right as the playoffs start?
That's a tough one. That's a curveball I wasn't ready for. I don't know. That's a really tough question. I'm going to say, yeah, they should be allowed. I think, yeah, it gives them an advantage, but this is the playoffs, man. Everybody's 0-0. These are all new teams out there. And, I mean, these two teams are two of the teams that we could see running it all the way and lifting up the cup. I think it's fair game, in my opinion. I'm going to say yes, you should be allowed to.
I got to agree with you on that one, just because we've seen Tampa do it. I know. I don't agree with you very often. But we saw Tampa do this when Tampa had their run, when they were just going 3 Stanley Cups in a row, almost went 3 for 3 on it. What they would do is Nikita Kucherov or Steven Stamkos, they'd get hurt, slap them on the IR. They're able to go out and pick up talent because it's not taking up that roster spot. Next thing you know, roster expands for playoffs. You bring back this star player. Now you have a higher chance of going deeper into playoffs because you have more talent. Smart move. May not be ethical. Smart move, though, nonetheless.
There's not a lot of ethics in hockey. And you know, Kyle, one more thing just before we're done here. I love that we're not talking about the Penguins right now. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay, so on that note, we're going to toss it over to a break real quick. But when we come back, we'll dive into our reactions to this. Shut up, Kenny. This year's NFL draft. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Kenny and Kyle Experience.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West 1st Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see?
All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free. Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Dom Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Lake Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are tainted. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are tainted. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Welcome back into the Kenny and Kyle Experience. I'm Kenny, and that guy over there, that's Kyle Spizak. And Kyle, what is one thing in this life that I love?
Football.
Football.
You
And that's
love
exactly
football.
what we're going to talk about. And you may have seen me and Kyle predict the draft just last Sunday alongside Ryan Joyce, Alex Brooks, and Zach Malamud. But safe to say, we were all pretty wrong. From no running backs taken in the first round, some interesting trades, and 6 quarterbacks taken in the top 12, it was wild to say the least. So Kyle and I, we chose our top 3 what the heck moments from the draft. Kyle, how about you start us off?
I mean, I got to go with right off the bat, probably the craziest thing that none of us expected. I mean, me and you were texting each other right off the bat.
Oh,
Michael
boy.
Penix to the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, They just went out and got Big Kirko. They just got Big Kirko off of Minnesota. They signed him to that big contract. And now they're going to bring in Michael Penix. I mean, the kid's a fantastic talent. I say kid as he's older than us. But fantastic talent. Just look at his stats. 65% completion, yards, touchdown. He was arguably the most accurate passer in college football last year. Kenny, I don't get why they would do that. I mean, he's a great talent. The play styles are nothing alike between him and Kirk.
I agree, and I get the difference in the play styles. The only thing is Atlanta did say they wouldn't care if he were to sit 4 or 5 years behind Kirk if they had to, and I don't think Kirk's going to last 4 or 5 more years. But I think it is good for him to develop behind a veteran quarterback. Maybe their play styles aren't exactly the same, but I think having that development behind a seasoned quarterback, you got to like that, Kyle. You got to like that.
I do like it.
You like that?
You like that?
You like that.
You like that. It's a very Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre type of situation. I don't know. Having Penix sit for that long, though, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and I guess now we'll talk about something that I noticed, and maybe there's a little bias here because I'm a New York Giants fan, but the New York Football Giants didn't do what everybody thought they were going to do, and Dylan Zielinski was cheering his name in the room with me when we were watching, and that was take J.J. McCarthy. They did not. They went with neighbors, and they're going to stick with Daniel Jones, and I think it's a good move. I'm not a huge fan of Daniel Jones, right? I think he's not that guy. He's not that guy. But this is his last year of guaranteed money with the New York Giants. You give him this year, see how he does, and if he blows it with a weapon and no more excuses, gonzo.
I mean, you kind of said it exactly how it has to be there. He has 1 year left to prove himself. He's had plenty of time to prove himself. Proved he's not worth $40 million a year so far. That's all I think he's proved up to this point in his career. But like you said, as a wise man once said, my father, a great receiver can make a bad QB look good. But the thing is, you can't go forward with him. Even though Neighbors is a fantastic talent, Daniel Jones isn't the guy, like you said. There's no good draft quarterbacks next year either.
No.
But guess that comes to my picking. Dylan, our AP, who you'll see later on tonight's show. This one's especially for you. I picked this one out just for you. What were the Bills doing? They trade their pick away to the Kansas City Chiefs. They gave them Tyreek Hill 2.0. They gave them Tyreek Hill 2.0. Tyreek torched them. The Chiefs torched the Bills the entire time they had Tyreek. They torched them without Tyreek. They give him the replacement. I mean, 72 yards a game, 5 touchdowns, 75 receptions. What are the Bills doing? Are they selling?
The only thing that I'm going to give to the Bills here is I don't think Worthy really fits in their scheme of play style with Josh Allen. Like, I don't think he's a really good fit in Buffalo. But why give it to the Chiefs? I mean, that is your biggest enemy. And
they traded their first-round pick for it.
Why would you do that? And then I don't understand the trade and trading the value to the Chiefs, but I understand not taking Worthy. I get that.
I get the Bills not, like you said, Bills not taking it, but trading that pick's rough.
As a big boy, Kyle, I could talk about big boys too. And the Cincinnati Bengals, they need to protect Joe Burrow. We all know that. I mean, that guy is banged up. Looks like he's going to be Andrew Luck. But they take Amarius Mims as their first rounder. He only played 8 games in college. Kyle, I don't know if it's just me, dude, but that sounds like a reach. 8 games?
It's a huge reach. I mean, I don't care if the dude started on Georgia. I really don't care. 8 games. 8? That doesn't prove anything. And you have dudes like Paris Johnson who are still on the board. You have so many better linemen on the board. And then they take that? He hasn't, like you said, he is a rookie if there has ever been a rookie. He hasn't proved that he can stand up and even play an entire season. He played 8 games in college. What's an NFL season? 17? He's going to play more in the NFL in a season than he did his entire college career.
By the halfway point.
Literally about the halfway point. I wish I could get a job to do absolutely and do nothing beforehand.
I wish.
But that brings me up to my last crazy moment of the draft. I thought more funny than crazy, but Sean Payton baiting the Minnesota Vikings to take JJ, goes up, makes it look like he's going to move up to try to take McCarthy. He knew he was taking Bo Nix the entire time. Taking him at 12 is already crazy enough as it was. They could have got him later in the draft. But they made Minnesota go up and take that trade to get that draft pick. They could have got him either way. They would have got him anyways, but Sean Payton with a little bit of toying on the field.
I do like to see that. I do like to see the toying. But yeah, that's a reach. To take Bo Nix that early is a bit of a reach.
Oh, it's 100% a reach.
That was another one that had me scratching my head. But I mean, if you're Denver, you got a quarterback now. Bo Nix is not bad. Is he as good as you make him sound to be? I don't think so. But I think he is a dog, and I think he's going to do very well in Denver. But I think it's a bit of a reach.
Yeah.
But I do like to see Sean Payton absolutely messing with the Vikings. That was great. That was awesome.
It was, like you said, though, 12 second-round talent, yes. 12, no.
All right, well, that means I only got one more pick because we can't talk about football all night, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, so in the first round of the NFL draft, there were only 9 defensive players taken. That is an NFL draft record low. And Kyle, we came in talking about all the offensive players. It was an offense-heavy draft. We knew that. Quarterback talent, wide receiver talent, tight end talent, O-line talent. It was all there. And there's not like there was no good defenders in the draft, but it was such an offensively star-powered draft that it's not a huge stunner, but it is crazy to see an all-time low.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of really good defensive backs on the board that they just didn't take it around. Cooper DeJean, perfect example. Yeah, he was hurt. Dude was a dog at Iowa. He was probably the best defensive back prospect there was.
Some people got really upset. Like, I had a friend that sat in the room and he was cheering DeJean, and he started crying when they didn't take him. Like, it was upsetting. You know?
Like, I get that there was a lot of offensive talent in this draft, don't get me wrong. But you can't win without defense and have these teams that are taking offensive players.
Defense wins championships. Defense
sucks.
wins championships.
Like, even the Bengals, yes, they need to protect Burrow, and they took a horrible pick with it, but their defense is trash, too. It's just, it makes no sense.
It does not. But that's it for me and Kyle talking about football for the last time. But don't go anywhere. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, it's time to talk about
about the Yankees. It's all about the Yankees.
Stick around. We'll be right back here on WTOP-10.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kind of Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of times.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Kyle, show.
Oh, we got to do it. Welcome back to the Kenny and Kyle experience for one last time, sadly. But we're going to take a look around the MLB and, of course, specifically, who else but the Yankees. The Yankees started off hot this season as the best team in the MLB, but inevitably, they cooled down after some time as the offense struggled to get on the board. However, that changed quite dramatically as the Yankees had put up 36 runs through their series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Kenny, the Yanks are red hot right now, and they might be the most dominant team in baseball when they are on. But we've seen how that goes. They're a very off and on team. So what can the Bronx Bombers do to make sure this isn't another failed season?
I mean, simply put, keep putting bats on balls. It's simple as that. I mean, you can see the standings here. It's a tough division. I mean, the Rays, seriously, a last place team, they're going to get in the playoffs one way or another. So it's a tough division to play baseball in. And, I mean, they put up 30 runs in 2 games. All I'm saying is the Yankees are undefeated when they score 15-plus runs in a game. So if they can keep putting up 15-plus runs in a game, the Yankees are going to be fine. Although I have a Mets hat on, too, which is weird. It's a Syracuse Mets, but I got to hide that. I'm not trading, no.
And I mean, the Yankees just on fire right now. 15-2 back-to-back games. Giancarlo Stanton, grand slam. Rizzo had his 300th home run of his career today. And Volpe, too, with a blast. I mean, they're on fire. But we're going to take a look around the American League as well, where some surprising teams are leading the charge. The Orioles were in the lead of the AL East today before the Yankees took that win over the Brewers. And the Guardians in the Central. Kenny, taking a look at the standings, what really sticks out to you?
I'm going to say the Guardians. I mean, they're on top. Clearly they're on top. So they're a good team. And the Royals as well, also strikingly high.
Which last year, Royals, awful team last year. Just terrible. But like you said, the Guardians, I mean, they are a really young team and they have been on the come up lately. But to have them 19-9, top of the MLB essentially, I did not see that one coming.
Look at the Twins.
Yeah, the Twins last year, great team. And then if we take a look at the AL West as well, I mean, the AL West it's even crazier.
Oh!
Who's at last?
Oh!
Who's that at last?
Who's crazy now?
Who's that at last?
Who's crazy now? Who's crazy now?
Makes my heart to see the Houston
I said they were going to be in
suck.
third place. I said they're going to be in third. They're in last. This makes me so happy. Who's crazy now, Kyle?
You're not crazy, but even the Athletics, A's, they're in third, and they are awful. They are a poverty franchise, and they're sitting at third. I mean, I don't know how this season has wrapped out. I mean,
baseball.
We have so much time still in the season. I mean, it's only a month in, so much will change. But we're going to toss it over to break real quick. And when we come back, we're going to have Cookin' and Crazy per usual. And we have a special guest coming on in our AP, Dylan Zielinski. So don't go anywhere just yet.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a closer for that one.
Matthew,
Broadcast news.
look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
This guy.
What are you looking at?
Someone missed the
What are
memo.
you looking at?
Welcome back in for the final block of the Kenny and Kyle experience. Kyle, our time is winding down here, but your time is winding down here. My time is not, and I'm going to have somebody else with me next year taking over the show. And oh boy, it's Dylan Zielinski. Dylan, introduce yourself to the people at home.
Yeah, I'm Dylan. I'm really excited to join the show. Yeah, apparently I'm a delusional Bills fan, but I mean,
he is.
This guy over here likes the Patriots, and
yeah, I got a lot of rings in my lifetime.
Go Giants! Go Giants! Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Daniel
Yeah.
Jones. Oh, Drake May.
Well, we are here for our final time of doing Cooking or Crazy. And gentlemen, We haven't even picked a topic yet. I'm not going to lie to everybody at home, but I'm going to pick it right now. We're going to do something different in sports, and I think it fits with the theme that we have going on here today. We're going to do the best vacation spot in the world, your dream vacation, the best place to go if you had unlimited amount of money, anywhere to get there, where you going? So we're going to do that. Kyle, we'll just go around the table. Kyle, you, then me, and we'll discuss afterwards. Kyle, or Dylan, you
These are specifically crazy. Okay, all right. I got an idea. I got an idea. Don't worry about it.
Make it a little weird.
Okay.
Syracuse, New York.
What?
What?
No.
Wow. Go Mets.
No, I'm gonna say the mountains of Tennessee. Go out to the Smoky Mountains. I love the beach. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge beach guy. I've been to Aruba, been to Maryland a few times. Love the beach. I'm an island boy. There's nothing like the mountains. You go up in those mountains, you see the Great Smokies, the sunrise coming over them. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see.
I mean, me personally, I don't own a Hawaiian shirt. Riley, thank you for this. It kind of fits my vibes. It's fitting with what I'm going to take here. I am a sucker for Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, it's awesome. There's so many things to do. The beach itself is beautiful. The ocean's right there. I've stayed in campsites down there. I've stayed in hotels. I've gone with my family year after year after year, and I've always said Myrtle Beach is my vacation spot of choice. It's awesome. You get to do, I've done parasailing there. I've done like the swimming with the dolphins and going dolphin watching and things like that.
Swimming with
and
dolphins is sick.
Yeah,
That is
it's
sick.
just, it's awesome. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Myrtle Beach. Plus, I tan really well. I
Same.
I come back.
I can tell. I'm very tan.
I'm gonna go with Myrtle Beach.
Yeah,
Myrtle Beach.
right.
Myrtle Beach.
It probably leaves it.
I was in North Carolina, but yeah, Myrtle Beach. That's my choice.
Some great golf down there. It's just
Yeah.
it's expensive, but beautiful courses down there, man.
So here's my take. Since you guys kind of went a little light here, I'm gonna go with. I'll try to get a little crazy here. This vacation.
What do you mean? I said Syracuse.
Of sorts.
I was gonna say Russia.
Shoot. This vacation is cheap. Actually, it's pretty much free. You don't have to do anything. You can relax and enjoy yourself. It's called a staycation. You stay home. You do whatever you do with your activities. That's not up to me. But there's nothing better than a free vacation of me plotting my rear end on a couch. I'm going to say staycation is the way to go.
Dude, you can do that like
As a
any
broke
day after
college
work.
kid.
I mean, like,
as a broke college kid,
I'm a broke college kid and I went on like a spring break. Like, it didn't stop me. I didn't.
it's not my fault.
So
you
did
guys
you.
took- it's not my fault you guys took cop-out answers. I thought this was cooking or crazy, not learn a lot about Dylan.
Okay. Wow. Like I said, I was gonna say Russia, and I'm like, but
I don't know. I can't go with the staycation, dude. If I get a week off, the last thing I'm doing is staying in Oswego, New York. That's the last thing I'm doing.
If I were to give something that's not cooking or crazy, I would say Milan. I'm gonna go to Milan.
Ooh, Milan. Okay.
Milan is my actual my dream vacation.
You
If
still
we're
said
going
your
off
couch.
of
You still said
See,
your
if
for
we're
the sake of the show, staycation, but realistically, Milan.
absolute dream. I mean,
All right.
Ibiza.
We only got a minute 30
We
here
do
left.
only
All
got a
right,
minute left.
Patsy. Yeah! No way!
No, we got fleeced. We just got fleeced so hard. No, that is awful.
I'm not doing anything.
No, you're gonna sit on your couch with
I'm
your
just
chips and
gonna
rock.
lay in my
Yep.
bed.
Of course you would say.
We're
the
gonna
couch,
get
Kenny.
copyrighted.
Of course you'd say the couch.
Of
Of course you'd say the
All right,
couch.
Kyle, this is it. Last
This
minute.
is it.
This is the goodbye ginger.
Well, you're gonna catch me monologuing over here real quick, but I mean, it's been.
That's it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, cut him off.
Good
It's
night.
done. No, I mean, it's been 3 years doing OPs here, commentating, doing a lot of different stuff here. Couldn't be more thankful for all the opportunities that everyone here gave me. I've learned a lot, met some really, really cool people, except Kenny. Don't like him. He's eh. But the face. Can we clip Kenny's face real quick? Can we clip Kenny's face?
Not a good guy. Not a good guy.
No, but I just want to thank everybody for it. Thank my parents for making this possible by allowing me to go to school here, and I don't know, just love this station, and it was a great 3 years.
Kyle, I'll miss you, buddy. Dylan,
passing the
it's
torch.
going to be a ride next year.
The torch.
Thank you, everybody, for
Thank
joining
you.
the Kenny and Kyle experience all semester long. Have a great night, and me and Dylan will see you guys next semester.
Oh boy.
Hi folks, I know it's been a while since I've last been in front of the camera. It's been a while since I've been in the kitchen too. But I'll tell you what, sometimes the life of a college student gets a little busy. Sometimes things happen and not able to do the things you're really passionate about. I didn't feel like I was going to be putting out a very good product last semester, so I decided not to do it altogether, just to make sure that you, the viewers, have something really good to watch. And I think I've finally hit my groove again. When a college student gets busy, sometimes you need low-maintenance meals. That's why we've got a crock pot here and a pan full of what you can already assume is pasta sauce. It's comfort foods today, folks. Stuff that doesn't take too long to do and stuff that lets you just walk away from it for all intents and purposes. Go wash up, get ready to eat, because we're back on Dom's Dinner Bell. So before we get into the pasta sauce and those ingredients, I managed to get out a chili in time. That's what's in this crock pot here. This morning I prepped everything and put it in the crock pot because this takes 8 hours to cook on low, and we don't have 8 hours. So I'm going to throw it over to the pre-recorded segment, and I'll have Past Me explain everything. This is Past Me. Getting ready to go. Big thumbs up. Going to start on the chili. First, before the chili, of course, making ourselves a little bit of espresso. It's a good way to start the morning. But then, what we have here is venison. And venison is deer meat. This one my grandfather got, gave me some of the ground stuff. It's delicious, and it will go very, very nicely in our chili. So what we do is we put it in the pan. Then you bust it up as best you can in the pan. Make it nice and just like ground beef, just cook it up. See that our coffee is brewing in the mocha pot. Getting ready to go. That's a fine cup of coffee right there, I'll tell you what. And just keep stirring that venison. We're not gonna season it. We're not gonna do anything like that. It's just just like any other ground meat. So with a chili, you just want to cook it until it's completely done. You can have a few pink spots here and there, but nothing too crazy. And then, of course, while that venison is finishing up, I'm going to pour ourselves an espresso in our FDNY espresso cup, courtesy of the city of New York. Getting ready to go with a nice cup of joe. Take a sip. It's a good way to start the morning. With the venison all cooked, what we're going to do is we're going to plop it right into that pan. I did strain it off screen, so just make sure you get that excess fat out of there. Venison doesn't release much excess fat, so it's not as crazy as like 1.5 pounds of ground beef. And you can see me throw my hands up in exasperation. I didn't have any slow cooker liners. Those are game changers. If you can get slow cooker liners, absolutely get them. But after the beef is in there, we have our lineup of canned things. We have tomato sauce, tomato soup concentrate, diced Rotel tomatoes with green chilies, black beans, and kidney beans. You can also optionally throw in something like corn. Corn is a favorite of mine to throw into my chili, but I didn't have any this time around. And you just dump all of those into the crock pot. No stirring, no seasoning, nothing crazy altogether. You just dump everything into the pot. After we dump everything into the pot, we have our seasoning. 6 teaspoons of chili powder. You've got 1 teaspoon crushed red pepper, basil, minced onion, and minced garlic. And all of that is going to go into the pot as well. You just dump it right on top of everything. Once you've got the spices and the canned goods in there, you're going to take your Tabasco sauce and you're just going to load it up. This is why I call it afterburner chili. You're going to put a whole bunch of Tabasco in there. I usually call it about 12 shakes is your best bet. That gives it a nice, vinegary, peppery flavor to it. And then the ultimate secret ingredient that I have for my afterburner chili is ghost pepper hot sauce. Now, this stuff is very hot, and obviously you can omit it entirely from the recipe if you so choose. But if you are going to use it and you want it to be bearable for all parties, you put 1 to 2 drops. That's it. You don't want anything more than 1 to 2 drops. Otherwise, it will be a little unbearable as you get further down the bowl. But once you have the hot sauces in there, as well as the canned goods and the spices, add a little bit of salt and pepper. Stir it up with your wooden spoon or plastic, your choice. Really get everything homogeneous. And then all you have to do from there is turn your crock pot to low, and you put the cover on it, and you walk away. Chili's very simple. And then in 8 hours, or 6 hours, if you have one of those 6-hour settings on your crock pot, you will have a delicious, slow-cooked chili that you can enjoy on a cold winter's evening or a nice fall day in front of a football game. You can put it on hot dogs. You can put it over fries with some cheese. It's very versatile, very tasty, and the heat, that's the best part. Thanks, Dom. So, the ingredients for a red sauce are very simple, very straightforward, and very easy to get. They're also usually very cheap. Onions, you get a bunch of them for about $3 at the store. Especially white onions. Cooking with red onions gives it a different taste. You're going to need tomato paste. You're going to need diced tomatoes. And you will need a big can of crushed tomatoes. Now, you can get a big can of whole tomatoes as well and crush them in the pan or blend them to your desired consistency if you want. But this is how I do it. Still gives it chunks of tomato. Still kind of a smooth sauce. I like it more chunky. This is a good medium. You're going to need your Parmesan cheese. Don't get that stuff that's got the wood pulp in it. It's gross. This is real home-style Parmesan shredded cheese. A bit more expensive. It was a gift. You're going to need red cooking wine. Red cooking wine's definitely the way to go with this. You could use chicken broth, or you could use veggie broth, or maybe vinegar, but I prefer to use red cooking wine. It gives the sauce a little bit more complexity. The carrot, I'm sure everybody is wondering, what in God's name do we need this for? I'll get there. You got to trust the process on this one. And the protein that's going into this sauce, I'm using spicy Italian sausage. Now, I'm choosing spicy Italian sausage because I like spicy Italian sausage. You can do sweet, you can do meatballs, you can do steak, veal, whatever you want. With a Sunday gravy, it's the easiest thing ever. It's up to you. At the cabin, we like to use venison and just put it right in there. That's what's in the chili, but it's up to you. And of course, you need pasta for a red sauce. Today I've chosen all these brand rigatoni. You can do spaghetti, angel hair, up to you. Pasta's pasta. So, with all of our ingredients set up, one more thing before we get into prep work is if you're going to do a Sunday sauce, make sure you have stainless steel pans. If you do a red sauce in something other than stainless steel, it's going to wind up tasting metallic and kind of gross, and you don't want that. That's fine if you're heating up a regular sauce, but if you are simmering and cooking a red sauce, gotta use stainless steel. So, with that, let's get cooking. So, prep work is the biggest thing with this sauce because a lot of your time spent will be waiting around. So it's best to get the important work done as soon as possible. So what you want to do, the one that's probably the most obvious, is open up your cans. If you try and cook them with the cans still on them, it's not going to taste very good. And I think it might be a bit crunchy. So, take your can opener, open up the cans. World's easiest thing. We're probably going to cut this segment anyway. Okay, there's the diced tomatoes and your tomato paste. You probably, most likely, will not use your entire can of tomato paste. Unless you're making a huge batch. Usually you really only need about a spoonful. This way you can just pop open there, tomato paste. So you've got your tomatoes open, great. Your garlic's already minced, fantastic. If you have fresh garlic, mince it. So what we do with an onion though, and this is where we get back to knife tips, make sure that you have a sharpened knife, nice and sharp. Dull knives are dangerous. I've preached this a million times on the show, just do it. Alright. So, you take the head off of the onion and you throw it on the ground. Just don't slip. They're just as bad as banana peel. Go down the side so you can take off that first layer of onion because it's got a funny film around it. You don't want it. And tear it apart, tear it apart. Tear it apart. Wish there was an easier way to peel an onion. Like you can an apple. But I wouldn't eat an onion like an apple. I don't think that tastes very good, don't you? think it would. Whoa. All right. So then, what you can do, take your scraps, ditch them. Don't need them. You don't want any of the paper in your sauce either. Paper, onion paper in your sauce, kind of gross. So then what we do is we take our onion, cut it right in half, and then we get to do that fun little chop thing. Go right down the middle. This is the fastest, easiest way to dice your onion. Come on, get closer. I don't bite. So you got all your lines this way, and then you just cut that way, and you get nice little uniform onion pieces. Problem solved. And then you can keep that just off to the side. That's still good use of onion. And we do the same thing on this end. Slice down the side there. Careful, I've gotten my finger before doing that. Totally wasn't just a week ago or anything. Slice down that way. And that's the other thing. If you want to rough chop your onion for your sauce, you can, but it'll be just closer to a cacciatore at that point rather than a Sunday gravy. There we go. That's that nice diced onion, because that's going to be kind of the base of the sauce, but not as in like it's onion based, as in it's the first thing that goes in the pan other than the sausage, because we've got the garlic, the onion, the tomatoes. Great. So now what, you might ask? Do we just cook the sausage in a different pan, or do we just throw it into the sauce raw? No! You never do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cook our sausage. Stay tuned. Right after this break, it's sauce time on Don's Dinner Bell.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West 1st Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see?
All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey.
There's improv,
So much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free. Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I've always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
So, it's time to cook your sausage. This is the point in time where you would cook any meat that you have in your Sunday gravy. Simply because what we want is those brown bits at the bottom of the pan that happens after you cook meat. It's called fond. It's the bomb. There's lots of flavor in there, good flavor too. So what you want to do, start off by putting a little bit of olive oil in the pan. That way nothing sticks. Move it around a bit. If you don't cover every inch, then you might want to add a little more, like I just did. So you just add a little more olive oil. Now sausage is not going to render as much fat out of it as you would maybe a meatball. So you want to oil it up a little bit just so that it doesn't really stick to the pan as bad. And you might want to do bulk sausage, not linked up like this. You can, but why? I like to have the full sausage. You can dice it up, have big chunks of it in your sauce. It's the bomb. So what you want to do, as always, with a nice hot pan, with oil in it, lay away from you. Doesn't have quite the sizzle I was hoping for. There it goes. Lay away from you, lay away from you. That way you don't get oil splattered up on you. And what we want to do is, since that this sausage is going to also be thrown back in the sauce, we're going to cook the outsides of it the best first. So it's nice and brown and crispy, and we get that good stuff on the bottom of the pan. Keep the oil moving around so none of them stick or rip apart. As we see now, it's cooked, but it doesn't have the good brown bits. I picked that one up on purpose, trust me. That's what I thought. But you've got, you see, this is what I'm talking about. The caramelization right there on the ends. It leaves a little bit of a spot in the pan. That's what you want. That good stuff on the bottom really just blows away the flavor of the sauce. It's my favorite way to do it. And if you don't want to add meat to your sauce, you just skip this step. You can skip this part of the episode. I prefer you didn't, because that's hurt my feelings. So be kind, please. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff right there. Get this sausage turned right around. That one could have gone just a hair short. No, stop. It's running away. There we go. Because like I said, we're going to throw them back in the sauce. So they don't need to be done all the way through for when you cook them like this. You just want the outsides and the ends done so that you don't kill anybody with trichinosis. That's usually a bad thing. Where's the pink side? There it is. Sometimes you lose it. Sometimes you can get it back. It's getting hot. Jeez Louise. You can definitely tone back your heat if you need to. Last thing you want to do, like I said, is set your kitchen on fire. We've already had the fire bell go off once on this show. We don't need to do it again. See how that ends? Still kind of raw. Pick it up, turn it over. Make it not raw. It gets repetitive after a while. What can you do? It's cooking. A lot of it's repetition. Oh well, suck it up. Enjoy the show. Now, once your sausages are mostly done, you want to take a plate, put a paper towel on it, and get that excess grease off. There's already enough oil and stuff on the plate, or in the pan, that you really don't want this to be a greasy, oily sauce. That's not so good. So, you take your sausage, onto the plate, onto the plate, onto the plate, and this little guy's gonna fit right there as well. Now, you can tell when the sausage is still kind of raw, see how soft that is in the middle there? You can almost bend it right in half. That's still pretty raw. So, for this situation, that's fine. But if you're just doing sausage sandwiches, keep them on a little longer. If anything, bake them. You don't want to kill them with heat that fast. So that's the whole point. But now, we're going to start the rest of the sauce. The onions, the garlic, the wine, the paste, the tomatoes, the sauce itself. Let's get going. So, now that you've got your sausage out of the pan, you want to add just a touch more olive oil, so that you grease it up nice and good. Make sure that it's still hot, still enough oil, because what you want to do now is fry your garlic. And by fry, I do mean just that. Take your garlic out of a jar, or if you've minced it with a knife, spoon, however much garlic you would like. It is best to measure with the heart. It's about 3 cloves right there, I think. And you hear that start to sizzle. Come closer, you are too far to watch the magic. Take this. Get yourself a nice wooden spoon. Let that garlic fry up a bit till it gets nice and fragrant. You can already smell that. I love the smell of frying garlic. Throw in your onions. Now, this one you're going to let cook for just a bit longer because you got to let them get a little bit sweaty, if you will. Start to move the onions around, and you can see the onions already picking up on those dark bits at the bottom of the pan. Starting to sweat out some of their moisture. That's the point. And so you've got the onions in there. Let them get cooking. Now we need the paste. Like I said, this all happens pretty quick here. So you take your paste, take a big old spoonful of it, boom, right into the pan with the onions and garlic. So, you got your tomato incorporated in there. Now, this is where the term deglaze comes in. I'm going to quick reach over. Got your wine. Open it up, and that's not nearly enough. I was out of wine. So, calling an audible, I'm going to run to the pantry real quick. So in case you don't have red cooking wine, you can use white cooking wine as well. It gives it a bit more of a brightness to the flavor. It's not as dark or as heavy as a red wine, but it's still just about the same. So you pour a little bit in there. Mixing red and white wine is also not the most amazing choice. I'll probably catch a lot of flack for it. I really don't care, because it's still going to taste good. So what you do is now, since that pan's hot and the liquid wasn't, you're able to scrape up the rest of those bits that wouldn't want to come up earlier. And that's why you want to have the flat side of a spoon like this one, because you can see I've already worn it out like a bunch of times. Because now it just picks up all that good stuff at the bottom of the pan. And now that you've got that going, you're going to want to bring it up to a light simmer. And by light, I mean so it reduces a little bit. And you got to wait a few minutes for that. You can see the black bits floating around. You won't even notice them once the sauce starts to simmer like that. Or when the sauce itself starts to simmer. Right now it's just onions, wine, and garlic. Now, you see how when I run my spoon down the pan, there's a clear line right here. You know, even it up again. Boom. Now it's time to add the tomatoes. That started to reduce very nicely. So we take our big can first and load it up. Yeah, that got all over my face. That's great. Yummy. Then you add your crushed tomatoes right in there. And then what we do is you take your can of crushed tomatoes, which is now empty, go over to your sink, and you fill it up about 1/2 to 3/4 of a way with water. And we put it right into the sauce. Gets a little more extra tomato, gives it a little more liquid. And what you want to do is stir. Get everything incorporated from the bottom of the pan up, because now we gotta let it simmer. But before we do that, we have to add the ingredient that I'm sure everybody was curious about and said, Dom, you're gonna ruin a perfectly good Italian dish. No, I'm not. Here's your carrot. You peel it and you cut it into thirds, and you just drop it into the sauce like that. Because at the end of cooking, you're gonna pull them out. What it does is it pulls some of the acidity out of the tomatoes. A lot of people use sugar. Sugar doesn't pull the acidity out, it just hides it. Your sauce will still be acidic. You just won't be able to taste it as much because you got sugar in there. Now, with that, we want to simmer this with the top off. If you leave the top on, it'll take a lot longer for it to do its thing. But with the top off, all of that steam will evaporate faster and get out of the way faster. And of course, always, always, always season with salt and pepper. The tomato sauce is great and all, but if it's bland, you lose it. Take that, get a little bit in there with the pepper. And I left the basil on the other counter. I can't believe myself. What are we doing? Now, like I said, you should use fresh basil if you can. If not, just sprinkle a little bit of the dried stuff and the minced stuff in there. No harm, no foul. So, we can crank the heat just a little bit to try and get it to that simmer. Because, I don't know about you, but I'm impatient. Here we go. We're starting to see the bubbles pick up a little bit here. A little bit there. You're starting to see it shimmer a little. This carrot's starting to dance a bit. It means we're getting to that point where it should start simmering soon, because you want just a straight up simmer in the sauce. It's starting to be real good. It's starting to really get up to temp. And I guess we can use my fancy schmancy meat thermometer, or my food thermometer really, and check the temperature of the sauce itself. It should be, hot. So you start to really see it make movement. You can add your sausages in now, because they're literally just going to sit in the sauce and cook. They're really not going to lower the temperature too much, because they're already Make sure you have a good handle on your sausage before you throw it against the side of the pan. I recommend putting them in the pan. That's usually just that's how I do it. Should work out well for you too. Now, while you're letting your sauce simmer, you got to make sure to scrape the bottom of the pan this way with your wooden spoon so the sauce doesn't stick or burn. And that's really kind of hard with these sausages all full like that. You don't have to bust them up, but I like to. That way you have sausage chunks more than you have anything else. They're easily biteable, easily pickable with your fork, and you're able to stir the sauce a little bit easier. Now you might also see that there's sauce getting up and around the side of the pan. And some of this stuff gets kind of sticky up there because it's still on the heat. So what you want to do is scrape down the sides of your pan and make sure to get that more cooked on stuff because that also has lots of flavor in it. We let this go for a little while, and of course with your red sauce, gotta have your pasta. So you go to your sink, fill it with water. It's a good start. Put it down right next to here. And the biggest thing is always, always, always salt your pasta water. It makes it taste so much better. Lots of salt in there, so it's nice and salty. Turn it on high, and you let it boil. And a watch pot never boils. So, as long as you're stirring every 20 or so minutes on your sauce, there's time for plenty of other things. You can sit and ponder existence. My back hurts too. So, the way I finish my sauce is, of course, you have to remove the carrots. Also, always taste while you cook. That tastes fantastic. Take your carrots, dump them in the trash. You don't need them anymore because your sauce is about done cooking. Now, the last and, in my opinion, most important step is to turn the heat off completely. And what you do is, while it's doing its little bubbly simmer thing there, and I steam my armpits over the pasta water, I guess, you take some butter and you do 2 tablespoons right into the sauce. Helps get it, I don't know, luxurious. Does something special to it. It's hard to put a word to it. Just makes it velvety. You know, makes it almost the most perfect sauce. So once you've got the butter in your sauce and the heat completely off on it, you can stop caring about the sauce. Just make sure you scrape down the sides of your pan so you get all that good stuff in there. And you can kind of let this one sit now because all you're waiting for is for the pasta to be done. Our chili's been done, our sauce is ready, and there's just a few minutes left on the pasta. Let's get ready to eat. Howdy, folks. It's that time of day again. It's that time in the show again where we taste test. And joining me this time is my good buddy, good pal, good co-host on the radio show, Dom's Dinner Bell Review, Alex Dookie. He's behind the camera all day. How was your first time on the bell?
Pretty good. I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad.
It's great to hang out with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. Venison chili. It's been a while since I've made this, too.
Yeah, that's good.
And the kick sneaks up on you.
Hasn't kicked in yet.
Well, the chili's a success. A wonderful comfort food, something that you can start in the morning and then you come home on a cold winter's day or cold spring day like here in Oswego. Just get yourself a nice bowl. Don't have to wait. You just, boom, there you go.
Easy food.
Easy food. So now, for the red sauce. I tell everybody that I make a great red sauce. Stuki, you're one of my first friends to actually try it. With Italian sausage, this is a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, that's very good.
You like, you dig that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The butter just kind of really ramps up the idea there. Say a success today, Stuki?
I'd say it's a success. Easy comfort food. Messed up there, but it's great food and great time having it.
That's fantastic. And that's all we ask for here at the Dinner Bell. So thank you for tuning in once again to Dom's Dinner Bell. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be cooking what I love. I'm happy to be doing what I love. Come back next week, folks. Who knows what we're gonna eat?
I'm talking about something for the mic check, and I Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, a different kind of music heard across campus today, who is on stage, and why they believe in their unique sound.
And the warm weather coming to a close, one campus organization is giving students a chance to keep campus clean before it's covered in snow.
Plus, new developments in the water line break on campus bringing a sense of relief after a night of unease for many students living on campus.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Caitlin Wright.
And I'm Hazel Montalvo.
After a night of uncertainty following the announcement of a water advisory on SUNY Oswego's West Campus, the water has been declared safe to drink. The initial advisory went out Wednesday night, warning students of a water main break that left water in West Campus dorm buildings like Seneca Hall and student services like Pathfinder Dining Hall in danger of having contaminated water.
Campus officials urge students in the affected area to avoid ingesting water coming from the water line and advise them to get water from Cooper Dining Hall at the center off campus. Upon repairing the water line and testing water samples, the water was deemed safe to use and the advisory was lifted today.
If you were walking across campus today and heard some interesting music, it was likely the band Squonk. Squonk is a musical group based out of Pittsburgh that features wacky choreography, creative use of instruments, and extravagant set design. They performed 2 shows of their opera Brouhaha earlier today on the Quad. Lindsay Herring, one of the band's performers, said that she loves being a part of the band because they get to work together to express themselves.
But really, I kind of think the cool thing about Squonk is that we all created this show together through a concept called devised theater. So we all pitched in and created the narrative, as you would say. So I kind of put everything that I like to do and I care to do. So really, I wouldn't want to do anyone else's role other than mine.
If you missed the shows today, there will be 2 other opportunities to catch them tomorrow at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Service Day. It's coming up, but what is it, and what is happening on campus?
WTOP-10 reporter Elisa Hopkins is giving us a preview of what is to come. Elisa?
As the leaves turn red, yellow, and orange, the Office of Sustainability is asking for help. They're inviting students to participate in service-based projects to give back to the community. The day will consist of maintenance and the pickup of various gardens around campus, as well as learning opportunities surrounding plant life. Campus sustainability leaders say this event helps prepare the gardens for winter. While it's a day to give back, it also provides students a way to cross off community service hours.
If you need to fulfill community service hours, which a lot of students do it in a way you like. Every single year, I think people can go out, use this day as an option to just reconsider, am I doing the kind of work that I value?
The day-long event will begin at 8 a.m. this Friday between Shinneman and Lee Hall, going until 4:30 p.m. That's all for my report. Now back to the desk.
Career Services will be hosting a major and minor fair tomorrow, October 4th. Students can find information about academic degree programming, internships, and more. The event will be held in the Marano Campus Center from 2 to 4 p.m. Anyone interested can contact the Advisement Center or Career Services for more information.
The Dream Big Career Internship and Graduate Fair is here. This event is an opportunity for all students and alumni to explore hundreds of career options, network with employers and graduate school representatives all in one spot. The fair takes place Tuesday, October 8th between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. in Marano Campus Center.
Arrests have increased in Oswego County. According to the State Division of Criminal Justice, arrests rose by 4.7% in the first half of this year. Police made 1,433 arrests between January and June. This is the second consecutive year that arrests have risen.
The International Longshoremen's Association agrees to suspend a strike that closed down major ports on the East and Gulf Coast. The union has reached a tentative agreement on wages, and its 45,000 members that had been on strike will be returning to work. The union and the alliance will be returning to negotiations on all other outstanding issues. Let's take a look at your forecast with Storm Team 10 meteorologists.
Good afternoon, Lakers. My name is David Pearson, and I'm here with a preview of your Laker weather. We're going to be talking about this week how we're going to have a dry end of the week with Friday and Saturday leading us into some nice sun and drier conditions. We also got a bit of a newsmaker tonight with the Aurora Borealis possibly being visible tonight. More on that in the full forecast. We also got some news about showers on a parade, so to speak, with cloudier conditions with rain moving in Sunday. And then that trend will continue for most of the week with colder temperatures and more precipitation. More on that in the full forecast. Sending it back to the desk.
New York State officials will be introducing proposals to regulate artificial intelligence. Lawmakers say they want to protect New York residents while technology develops. Kathy Hochul also spoke about artificial intelligence in January in her State of the State address. States including California are addressing artificial intelligence as well.
A tentative agreement has been reached between New York State and the union representing state police troopers. The group reached an agreement for troopers involving a 3-year term with salary increases with each year worked. It also includes up to 12 weeks of fully paid parental leave as well as a lump sum bonus.
Still ahead tonight, Hurricane Helene is creating major problems for FEMA as the death toll, now including an upstate New York man, rises.
Plus, a colonial-era dispute between two countries has been settled. What to know about the over 200-year quarrel and more after the break.
Disaster relief funds needed for the immediate response to
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTOP.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man. Whoa. Did you know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a closer with that one.
Broadcast news.
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
Good evening, Lakers. My name is David Pearson, and I'm here with your full Laker weather report. Looking at current conditions right now, we're looking at temperatures around 57 degrees, relatively clear with winds slightly out of the south. Moving on now to take a look at the lows for tomorrow night. We're going to see Oswego is going to be a little bit cooler, around 58 degrees, while a lot of the areas farther from the lake are going to be more into the high 40s. That pattern will continue for the next couple of days. But the big thing we're all looking forward to tonight, the newsmaker of the evening, the Aurora Borealis. Take a look here. We have about a 30% chance of seeing them, thanks to a solar storm that occurred earlier today. Tonight will likely be the best chance for you to see it, and you'll see why in a few minutes in the rest of the forecast. Moving on now for your day planner for tomorrow. For those of you that have 8 a.m. classes, I'm very sorry, but your time is not on here. It'll be pretty much the same as the 10 a.m., just about 5 or 6 degrees colder. The weather for the day tomorrow is not going to change all that much, with it being mostly partly sunny, temperatures around the high 60s, a little bit unseasonal, but I'm not going to be complaining about it. We now have just a quick map of the highs for tomorrow. You'll see Oswego is a little bit cooler thanks to that little lake breeze, going to keep us cool for the next probably few days going into the next week. Areas down the south are a little bit warmer, so say if you're going home for the weekend to like Syracuse, Oneida Lake, Lyons, that area, probably won't need to bring that jacket with you, so take note of that. Now checking out your futurecast. Starting tomorrow around 7 a.m. I will probably still be asleep, as I hope the rest of you are, but if for some reason you're not, you'll get a nice view of the sunrise with some light cloud cover over the lake, mostly cirrus probably around that time of the day. Temperatures a little bit chilly, but it'll warm up as the day goes on. Friday night's the time we're kind of looking at right now. Around 8 o'clock, say you're going to a party or stuck in the line for late night Cooper dining, you're going to want to bring a jacket with you, especially for those of you on West Campus, because I know that walk back is not going to be very fun in the rain. Not going to be anything too heavy or anything that we're not used to, but don't want to be going back to your dorm all wet. We're going to fast forward now to Saturday. Nothing's really going to happen then. Sunday is the day we start to get some action. You'll see here that little system up to the north in Canada. That's going to move in the evening, and that's going to follow us for probably the next of the week as the temperatures drop. Quick recap on the conditions for tonight. Clear, winds out of the south. Tomorrow, much of the same for the day. Thing we're worried about now, 7-day forecast. It's going to be a little bit nicer for the next couple of days. Sunday's the big weather maker. We're going to have some showers moving in there, and they're going to kind of stick around. Long-range forecast, temperatures are going to be somewhat accurate. That's about the most I can say. The fun part about being a meteorologist is that you get to be wrong half the time, but take the full paycheck. So with that being said, that's all for your Laker weather. Sending it back to the desk with the rest of the night's news.
A resident of upstate New York has been identified as one of the many victims of Hurricane Helene. Michael Rokas of Dexter, New York, has been staying at a bed and breakfast in Beach Island, South Carolina. His body was found Friday, but not identified until today. A graduate from SUNY Potsdam, Michael is one of over 200 people to die across the southeast from Hurricane Helene.
While Congress has already authorized disaster relief funds needed for the immediate response to Hurricane Helene, the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was candid in saying with another hurricane expected, FEMA does not have the money needed to make it through the season.
This disaster in western North Carolina is catastrophic.
Nearly a week after Hurricane Helene came ashore, cutting a path of destruction across 6 states, President Joe Biden toured the wreckage Wednesday alongside North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
I approve the request of Governor Cooper for the federal government to cover 100% of all the costs for debris removal.
This after Biden suggested he would be open to calling Congress back from its recess for a special session to pass a supplemental relief bill. Last week, Biden signed a 3-month stopgap government funding bill in which Congress did appropriate $20 billion to FEMA, but some fear that will not be enough.
Well, all federal spending is about priorities and look at the swath and the breadth of the damage across so many states. But it'll take a while. It'll take 30 days or more for them to assess that. But Congress will have to address it.
As we look at the infrastructure damages to water, to the cell lines, to power, the ability to get those turned back on is going to be complicated just by the way Appalachia is configured.
Already, more than 3,500 federal personnel are helping in the recovery efforts. FEMA also delivered a cargo plane full of food, water, and emergency supplies to Asheville, North Carolina, Tuesday.
We know that this is going to be a sustained operation.
At this point, Biden has not called for a special session, so Congress is set to return in their regular schedule in November. In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
The rising death toll has already put Helene as the deadliest hurricane to strike the continental U.S. since Katrina in 2005. The International Association of Firefighters is joining the list of unions not supporting a presidential candidate for the 2024 election. The president of the IAFF, Edward Kelly, said that although the union isn't endorsing a candidate, union members should still, quote, get out and make their voices heard in the upcoming election. The union was one of the first of Biden's presidential endorsements in the 2020 presidential election.
A dispute that started before the United States became a country has been solved. The United Kingdom announced today that they will permanently hand over the Chagos Islands to the country of Mauritius. The archipelago has been territory of the UK since the 1700s and had gained its independence in 1968. A joint statement by both countries' prime ministers agreed that Mauritius is sovereign over the islands. Israeli forces started evacuation warnings today across the South Lebanon, where its forces are fighting Hezbollah militants. Airstrikes from Israeli forces have been targeting the Lebanese capital of Beirut, with at least 9 people losing their lives overnight. Hezbollah holds sway in the neighborhood south of Beirut, this leading to the reason of Israelis' rampant attacks on Lebanese soil. This evacuation also comes after Iran's airstrike attack against Israel on Tuesday.
Up next, a new phenomenon. See how people are living longer.
And allergy season is creeping up. How you can keep yourself safe.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30? Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one.
Matthew, news.
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
In consumer news, a recent study of nearly 8,000 adults in the U.S., researchers found that around 14% of adults may have total iron deficiency, with another estimated 15% of adults suspected to have functional iron deficiency. This is when the body struggles to use its iron stores efficiently. Iron deficiency has been linked to fatigue, anemia, hair loss, and heart failure. But don't worry, it can be treated by taking iron supplements or eating iron-rich foods like beans, nuts, and broccoli.
Although the weather is getting cooler, some scientists say it's still not cool enough for allergy season to end. Warm temperatures lingering and more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, scientists say is causing the allergy season to start earlier and last longer than what we were used to. Warmer temperatures means the first frost is delayed, which gives plants more time to release allergy-inducing pollen.
Alongside former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, more and more Americans are living to 100. CNN's Mandy Gather has more for your health update.
It's a
milestone more are reaching, and the number of people who hit 100 in the U.S. is expected to more than quadruple over the next 30 years. But when it comes to living healthier for longer, experts say age is more than a number. Instead, aging is marked by metabolism changes, cells no longer replicating, stem cell exhaustion, meaning they aren't replenishing as quickly, and declining immunity.
Each one of those hallmarks of aging, as they're called, is a potential area for intervention, where you could actually extend lifespan by focusing on those things.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says that while we do age a little every day, studies show there are bursts of molecular changes that accelerate aging, and he says they happen when a person's around 44 years old and again around 60 years old.
Those things start to change primarily at those ages. So those are ages where you should really start to pay attention to aging more than you normally do.
The CDC says healthy aging means making good lifestyle decisions and developing healthy habits. That includes nutrition, having a healthy, balanced diet, keeping our minds stimulated, getting enough sleep, staying physically active and socially connected and engaged with others, and managing stress. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
President Carter became the longest-lived U.S. president in 2019, surpassing George H.W. Bush at the age of 94. Now we switch to the local stories within sports.
Jacob Coleman brings us through two games that happened yesterday.
Thanks, guys. Jacob here to bring you through the games. First up, after Oswego men's soccer got handed their first loss of the season against SUNY Oneida, they practiced hard throughout the week to bounce back, and that they did. The Lakers put on a dominating 3-0 shutout versus SUNY Canton. With goals from Ian Husselback in the first half, and then Tajay Ellis and Jason Wytak to follow in the second, it appeared scoring came easy for this Lakers offense. Men's soccer goes back on the road this Saturday to play SUNY Morrisville and will try to improve their record to 7-1. Moving on now to the women's field hockey squad, who also picked up a big win yesterday versus Elmira in their breast cancer awareness game. A meteor shower broke out on the net as soon as the game began, as these ladies had racked up 14 shots in just the first half. Unfortunately, none of those would connect, and Elmira would sneak in a lead 7 seconds before half off a fast-passing attack. It did not take long for the Lakers to gain control, however, as they kept firing on the net as much as possible. In the second half, 3 different players for Oswego would go on to score and lead the team to a 3-1 victory over the non-conference opponent. Field hockey hosts Roberts Wesleyan College this Saturday. When we get back from break, Jason Rude will bring us to the national level to cover the Buccaneers taking on the Falcons tonight and the WNBA Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and bleeding.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen. They become briefly
I'm Jason Rude, and here's a look at some Laker sports. This weekend, the Laker volleyball team looked to score another road victory as they go to take on SUNY Morrisville. The Lakers are coming off of their Misericordia tournament appearance, scoring 2 wins and 2 losses. Freshman Priscilla McReynolds looks to continue her dominant rookie season, being the leader in kills with 180. SUNY Oswego is currently 3rd in the SUNYAC rankings in volleyball with a record of 9-8, while SUNY Morrisville is 6th with a record of 8-6. Game starts on Saturday at Morrisville at 1. On more women's Laker sports, women's tennis goes on the road to take on Oneonta Red Dragons. They are undefeated with 10 straight wins. The duo of senior Catherine Salamata and junior Emily Liga have been masters at the double games, winning all of their matches this season. In singles, Salamata and freshman Emily DeLuca have also not lost a match. The Lakers look to continue their winning streak to 11 this Saturday at 3. Shifting to pro football sports, a huge NFC South matchup happens tonight as the Atlanta Falcons host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight on Prime. Both the Falcons and the Bucs won this past weekend, with Atlanta scoring a close victory over the other division rival, the New Orleans Saints, 26-24. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers with their own win against the Philadelphia Eagles, 33-13. Tampa currently is first in the NFC South with a record of 3 wins and 1 loss, while Atlanta is tied 2-2. Currently, still in the second quarter, the Buccaneers lead 17-14. First overall pick is now the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Indiana Fever and former Iowa Hawkeye guard Caitlin Clark won her first pro major award in her career after a phenomenal first season. Clark broke several records, including rookie three-pointers, season single assist, and rookie scoring record with 769 points. She did not win unanimously, though, getting 66 out of the 67 votes. That one vote went to Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese. That is our report for tonight. Actually, instead, we have our highlight package about the Mets versus the Brewers game earlier yesterday. And currently right here we see Brandon Nimio get a huge long drive that would score up a run and get the Mets up at the top of the first. Right after that, this would be the first of the 2 homers for Jackson Carrillo as he rips a solo homer right on the second of the day, and that would be the first of the game. And that is all.
Thank you for watching.
That's our report for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one. Matthew,
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.